In the great city of Lagos, where the sun rises over endless roofs and the night never truly sleeps, there lived a young woman named Adunni. Lagos was alive. It breathed in the smoke of buses and breathed out the scent of fried food from roadside stalls. It sang in the voices of traders and shouted in the horns of cars stuck in traffic. It glittered at night with lights that promised dreams, and it whispered softly to those who had ears to hear. But not everyone listened. Adunni did not listen. She only watched. Every day, she stood at the edge of her small world and looked into a bigger one, a world filled with beauty, money, and comfort. A world where girls her age wore long, shining hair, expensive dresses, and walked with confidence that came from never worrying about tomorrow. Adunni came from a different place. Her home was small. The roof sometimes leaked when it rained. Her mother worked hard selling food by the roadside, and her father did his best, but life was not easy. There were days when Adunni had to pretend she was not hungry. She was tired of that life. She was tired of counting coins, tired of waiting, tired of hoping. "I want more," she would say to herself at night. "Not just more food, more life." One hot afternoon, as the sun sat high in the sky, Adunni walked through a busy market. Women called out prices. Children ran between stalls. The smell of pepper and fresh fish filled the air. She stopped near an old market woman who was arranging her goods slowly and carefully. The woman looked up. "Why do your eyes carry so many thoughts?" she asked. Adunni smiled. "I am just thinking about my future." The old woman nodded. "A child who runs faster than her shadow may fall before the sun sets." Adunni did not understand. She only laughed lightly and continued walking. Her dreams were louder than the warning. Not long after, her life changed. It began with a meeting. A friend invited her to a small gathering where important people were present. Adunni wore her best dress, though it was simple compared to others. That was where she saw him. Chief Obasanjo. He stood like a man who owned the ground beneath his feet. His clothes were perfect. His voice was calm, but strong. People moved aside when he walked. He noticed Adunni, not just a passing glance. He looked at her. "You," he said, walking closer. "What is your name?" "Adunni," she replied, her voice soft. He smiled. "A beautiful name." That moment changed everything. After that day, he began to call her. At first, she was surprised. Then, she was excited. He sent her money. He bought her gifts. He took her to places she had only seen on screens. For the first time, Adunni entered a world she had always dreamed about. Big houses, fine restaurants, soft beds, cold air from air conditioners that never stopped working. She moved into a beautiful apartment. She no longer worried about food. She no longer counted coins. She became the person she once admired from afar. When she walked outside, people noticed. When she spoke, people listened. "This is success," she told herself. "This is the life I was meant to live." Lagos glittered brighter for her. In the beginning, everything felt perfect. Chief Obasanjo treated her kindly. He laughed with her. He showed her off to others. He gave her everything she asked for, sometimes even before she asked. Adunni felt special. She believed she was different from the others, but time has a way of showing truth. Slowly, things began to change. The chief started calling her at any time, day or night. "Come now," he would say, and she would go. If she hesitated, his voice would become cold. "Do not forget who is taking care of you." Those words would stay in her mind long after the call ended. Her beautiful apartment began to feel quiet, too quiet. She would sit alone for hours, surrounded by expensive things that brought her no joy. She missed laughter. She missed simple days. She missed being free. One evening, she tried to speak honestly. "I feel lonely," she said. The chief looked at her with confusion. "Lonely? With all this?" he asked, pointing around. She tried to explain, but he shook his head. "You think too much," he said. After that, she stopped speaking her feelings. As time passed, Adunni began to see more. There were other girls. Girls like her. Beautiful, well-dressed, always smiling. Some seemed happy. Others looked lost. One of them, a girl named Kemi, became close to her. Kemi laughed often, but her laughter felt empty. "Enjoy it," Kemi said one night. "Enjoy what?" Adunni asked. "This life," Kemi replied. "It does not last forever." Adunni felt a small fear rise inside her. One day, she met her old friend, Sade, again. Sade looked tired, but strong. "I am working on my small business," Sade said proudly. "It is not easy, but it is mine." Adunni smiled, but inside she wondered why anyone would choose such a hard life. Still, she noticed something. Sade's smile was real. Then came the day that broke the illusion. At a large event filled with powerful people, Adunni stood beside Chief Obasanjo. She felt proud. She felt important, until he spoke. "She is one of my girls," he said, laughing. People laughed with him. Adunni smiled on the outside, but inside, her heart cracked. She was not special. She was not different. She was just one of many. That night, she could not sleep. The bed was soft, but her thoughts were heavy. The life she once loved now felt like a cage. A beautiful cage, but still a cage. The next morning, she returned to the market. The old woman was still there, as if she had never left. "You have come back," the woman said. Adunni sat down quietly. "I am not happy," she admitted. The woman nodded. "A golden chain is still a chain." Tears filled Adunni's eyes. "I thought this life would bring me peace." The woman looked at her kindly. "Peace does not come from what you are given," she said. "It comes from what you build." Adunni wiped her tears. "What should I do?" The woman smiled gently. "Plant your own seeds." That day, Adunni made the hardest decision of her life. She chose to leave. When she told Chief Obasanjo, he did not believe her. "You will come back," he said. She shook her head. "I will not." And for the first time, she walked away. Life became hard again, very hard. She struggled to adjust. She missed the comfort. She missed the easy money. There were nights she cried. There were days she almost gave up. But she remembered the words. "Plant your own seeds." Adunni began again. From nothing. She remembered something she once loved. Fashion. She started designing simple clothes. At first, no one noticed. Then one person bought, then another. Slowly, her work began to grow. Sade stood by her. "You are stronger than you think," Sade said. Adunni began to believe it. Time passed. Not quickly, but surely. Adunni worked hard. She made mistakes. She learned. She grew. And one day, she looked around and saw something beautiful. Not expensive things, not luxury, but peace, real peace. She was no longer the girl who chased quick wealth. She was a woman who built her own life. Her success was not given, it was earned. Lagos watched her. The same city that once dazzled her now respected her. She had learned its secret, that not everything that shines is gold, and not everything that is simple is small. Her story spread quietly, like a whisper carried by the wind. A lesson, a truth, a reminder that the greatest life is not the one you are given, but the one you create with your own hands. And, in the end, Adunni smiled, not because of what she had, but because of who she had become.